Hi, this is Matthew Kenslow, and in this video I want to give a little update on the church where the suicide letter or letters have been found. I made a video about this recently, talking about it, and in that video I have interjected some personal stories that I've experienced in Costa Mesa, Newport Beach, which may stand to reason why those suicide letter or letters have been found. Like, who knows if there's more than one? Who knows if there's more people a part of this? And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just watch that video. It's a half hour long. It took a couple hours to make. It took about 5 or 6 hours just to decide, and also fighting a headache, a physical, literal one, just deciding whether or not I should make a video, because it's really dear to my heart. The fact that discrimination and bullying exist, because I feel it every single day that I walk out. Every day in the neighborhood there's always a few people out there that just doesn't like autistic people. Well, anyway, I digress. And the fact that suicide is a reality, and in that video I said that I've lost somebody who's very close to me due to suicide earlier this year, and he's still in my mind every day and every night, and I can't get it out of my mind. I mean, I'm not trying to forget his memory, but it's still hurtful to me of what happened, and the fact of his loss, and the fact that I'll never see him on this earth again. And overall, I've gotten a litany of positive comments on that video, that if you watch that video that I'll link in the card above, then just read all the comments too. There's a lot of support that is that's given. And the point of this video is just to say that last Sunday there was an excellent sermon by that friend, the friend who actually messaged me first to let me know that a suicide letter was found by his wife. He actually works there, and he gave a powerful sermon in which he talked about people who do fight depression and suicidal thoughts, and then he took that and he expounded on it, and then he called like a moment of silence for people to pray for those who are suicidal. And on the screen and online, you know, the screen, it showed the suicide hotline number and such. So I'm really quite pleased of their response to it. I mean, I'm not like thinking they wouldn't do that, but you know, it was just very touching, you know, because you just gotta watch the sermon, but it like hits the nail on the head, and it just gave that chance for the congregation to just be silent and just pray. And that's exactly what happened, and it was very heartfelt. I could feel it. I could see it on the face. I mean, it was very heartfelt. So I really hope that everyone who is suicidal had watched that sermon and decided, just don't give up. And that's what the preacher said, and that's of course what I stand by. Just don't give up. And he's actually the worship leader, but he preaches a couple of times. But it honestly, just don't give up and such. And that's what I plead as well. So I just wanted to make this update here. Again, there is hope for everyone, and I believe there's a purpose and a calling, and I understand this world. I understand probably not all of it, but I know that there could be a lot of feelings of just wondering and concern and depression. Do I have a sense of purpose and all that? That's what a lot of people think, and I get that and understand that, but I just believe that everyone has a purpose, and I'm just hoping to encourage everyone that they have a purpose. And my specialty personally is autism spectrum disorder. That's what my book and a lot of my videos on this YouTube channel is about. But it's not just autism, but it's, you know, disabilities in general, and then beyond that there's other factors that may lead to a person's depression and such. And you know, we're all, I hope that everyone together could just put aside differences and competitions, come together and accept one another for who we are and such, and to make time for us and such. And I'm really feeling called to talk about the media in this case. I got another comment yesterday on Facebook from a friend of mine named John from church, but before that I want to tell again of a comment that I got from one of my friends in the United Kingdom. Again, I'm not going to want to reference the comment. I'm not sure if he wants me to pinpoint that comment or not, but here's the gist of what it said. He said that in the United Kingdom they just don't know how to deal with autistic people, and so they ignore us altogether and such, which is very sad and everything. I mean, there's more to that. But my friend John yesterday was saying, I forget, so I'm going to put it on the screen, but it was something to the fact that the media just post what makes them money, and not the major issues. And as far as autism is concerned, that's a minor issue for the media. And I think that's why there's a lot of pain and suffering among people with disabilities in general. I mean, it's not just autism, because it's not being pushed in the media because they're too afraid of us, and they don't think that it could make them money and such. So it's all a love of money type of thing. Now, I'm definitely not saying that we are totally ignored, because I have seen, in fact, a lot of news media coverage on autism here and there. Usually it's just to say, oh, this boy was just put in handcuffs because he has autism, or this person was shot at a lot of times because he has autism and such, which are real stories. I mean, just look it up online. But there are other stories out there that highlight, this person has autism, this is what he's doing for his community and such. And that's kind of what I've been trying to do too, through my book and YouTube channel and everything, to offer my encouragement and just juggle around. I mean, I still haven't been asked by St. Andrews to juggle for their students' ministries, even though they said I would, but that was before the pandemic, so I'm just waiting for everything to get back to normal, as well as the schools. I will be going to a school next week to juggle, but just as the students pass by, I hope they ask me to juggle for everybody in an assembly and such, because it's more than just juggling. It's the joy that I'm putting smile on people's faces, especially the children. Like, they like my juggling and such, and hopefully that will encourage and motivate them. And at the same time, I use juggling, or I have a juggling analogy on not giving up, persevere, not giving up. And I have a science demo analogy that I can't wait to show people about not bottling things up inside. So I'm very excited about that, but I hope I don't just go to schools, but also churches as well. And that's just what I am contributing. There's a lot of people who could contribute equally as well, and I hope and pray to God that they also get their chance in speaking or doing whatever it is that they're called to do to help people or to motivate people or whatever. So that's just something I'm anticipating for the future. I again ask the media to give us some time. I yesterday submitted news tips again to a lot of different channels and newspapers and such, so hopefully they'll get back with me, but they never do for the past 2 years. And the only purpose is to just encourage other people. I mean, there is nothing that I'm doing to be a celebrity. I don't want that. I want to be a help. I want to encourage other people to find the courage and help themselves, whether it's their community or whether it's like me and going worldwide and such. And I believe that once everyone puts aside the competitions and learns to accept us for who we are, then there won't be any more suicide letters being written. There won't be any more suicides. I cannot guarantee that, but that's my prayer and hope and heart. And speaking about the media, I'm also talking about Christian media as well. I have gotten in contact in a way with K-Wave 107.9 FM, and long story short, after back and forth with a couple of people, like trying to set a time to talk, they just left a message to me and say, congratulations on writing a book, but try social media, but we don't do anything like this. And it was kind of a bit disheartening in a way, because I'm not saying that autism and other disabilities should be the priority on a Christian station. I mean, the gospel should be the priority, but I'm just saying, I think a lot of people, if people feel belonging and accepted in this world, if people realize that there's a hope and suicide is not the answer, and that people could just be kind to one another and show kindness, okay, I think there'd be a better reception of the gospel that way. Fellow Christians would multiply their talents more, if you know what I'm referencing. I believe it's Matthew 25. If they know that if they know that they could push and contribute in this world instead of just caving in, bearing their talents, and just waiting for either the rapture or death and such, because the world is throwing them a lot of hate. And yeah, that is what the world does. But for me, for example, 21 years of enduring hate and such from other people, I'm still going strong, in fact stronger now, and everything. And I'm trying to be a voice for the voiceless and such, and encourage other people to find their voice, because I don't believe I'm the only one. And that's kind of what I've been trying to tell K-Wave and other Christian media, but I don't think I said it right for obvious reasons, but I hope that if you do know K-Wave, maybe you could ask them yourself, because I've done all my communications and they're not really listening to me anymore anyway. But I still commend K-Wave Calvary Chapel as well as St. Andrew's Presbyterian Church. What's interesting is I met an usher at St. Andrew's Presbyterian Church, because I usher there too. Or used to usher every Sunday, and by an act of God, one of them works at K-Wave, so I could be sure that for the past 2 years he's been trying to get me on the program himself, but he's also been trying to help me with, going on social media. The only problem is I do go on social media, all the hashtags and the tagging and all that, and it's like 99% of what I do isn't really getting anywhere, and when I do try and contact these places, media and such, Christian media, churches, autism organizations even, they don't really want to hear of me and such. Once again, I just invite and ask if anyone in the area who lives in Costa Mesa, Newport Beach, or anywhere in Orange or LA County, since I'm close by, I'd be willing to do anything at my expense. No money attached or anything. I never want to be paid. I just want to make a difference to these schools and churches and clubs and libraries and wherever I'm led to be. For everyone else, around the world, I just invite, perhaps you could put not just my name, but other people's names that you know of down who may be a good news story for some media outlet and such. So again, it's not just me. I want to see an entire world where people put aside their differences, because again, and I know this personally, that discrimination abounds, because every day that I go out, even like yesterday and today, for example, I'm just discriminated by almost everybody in the neighborhood and such, from people either whispering or people, just making weird noises when they bike by or walk by or drive by or whatever. But I do have to say this before I conclude the video. It's not everybody. There's so many nice people out there, so many nice people that I run across. It's just a mix. Okay, it's just a mix. I mean, I had my faith restored in humanity a couple of days ago, but then the next day I get cussed at by a person in a car who never met me before, because obviously I'm autistic and such. So anyway, I know it's one step at a time, and it's going to take some time, but as soon as places like the media, as well as non-media, churches and schools, it invites me or people like me to come and speak and juggle, or whatever talent that they have. I just believe that once that starts, then discrimination is going to go down. So in the meantime, until that happens, I'm just here on this small YouTube channel, just encouraging anyone listening, however many or however few there are, to just not give up, because you have a purpose and a calling. So just stay strong and have an excellent day.